Emma woke up before sunrise. Today was her son Liam's 8th birthday. She wanted every little detail to be perfect. Colorful balloons filled the living room. A large chocolate cake waited on the table. Small gifts were lined up beside the window. She smiled because seeing her son's happiness meant everything to her. Guests slowly began to arrive. Children laughed and ran through the backyard. Family members talked while soft music played. For a short time, everything felt peaceful. Then Daniel's mother walked through the front door. She looked around with cold eyes before giving a fake smile. "So this is the best you could do?" she said loudly. "It looks cheap." Several guests looked at Emma. She forced herself to smile and welcomed everyone anyway. The older woman did not stop. She complained about the food, the decorations, and even the birthday cake. She laughed and told everyone that Emma never knew how to be a proper wife or mother. Emma stayed quiet. She did not want to ruin her son's special day. Then came the moment that hurt the most. As everyone gathered around the cake, Daniel's mother raised her glass. "I only feel sorry for my grandson," she said. "A child deserves a better mother than this." The room became silent. Emma looked at her husband, hoping he would finally defend her. Instead, Daniel gave a small laugh. "My mother is only telling the truth," he said. "Emma always makes everything harder than it should be." Emma felt her heart break. Some guests looked away in embarrassment. Others whispered to each other. Little Liam noticed the tears in his mother's eyes and quietly held her hand. Just then, the sound of a luxury car stopped outside the house. Everyone turned toward the front window. Daniel smiled, believing another guest had arrived. He had no idea that the person stepping out of that car was about to change every single life inside that house. The front door slowly opened, and everyone turned to see who had arrived. A woman in an elegant black dress stepped inside. She walked calmly, but her presence immediately changed the room. She was not someone who needed to raise her voice to get attention. It was Emma's mother, Victoria. Daniel had met her only a few times before. He always thought she was just a quiet older woman who lived a simple life. He never tried to know more about her. But Emma knew the truth. Victoria was the person who had supported her daughter through every difficult moment. She was a woman who helped Emma when nobody else believed in her. Victoria looked around the room and noticed the silence. She saw the unfinished smiles, the uncomfortable faces, and most importantly, she saw her daughter's red eyes. "Did I come at the wrong time?" Victoria asked softly. Nobody answered. Daniel's mother quickly stepped forward. "Oh, you must be Emma's mother," she said with a smile. "We were just teaching Emma how to become a better wife." Victoria looked at her daughter for a moment. Then she looked back at the older woman. "Teaching?" she asked calmly. "Or humiliating?" The room became quiet again. Daniel tried to laugh. "Victoria, it's just a family discussion. You don't understand." But Victoria did not argue. She simply walked toward Liam and handed him a birthday gift. "Happy birthday, sweetheart. Always remember, people who truly love you will never make someone you love feel small." Emma looked down, trying to hold back her emotions. For years, she had stayed silent to protect her marriage. She had ignored the insults, the disrespect, and the pain. But today was different. Victoria noticed something else on the table. The birthday video recording was still running. She quietly picked up the camera and checked the footage. Her expression changed, because she had just watched everything that happened before she arrived. And Daniel had no idea that every cruel word he and his mother said was now recorded forever. The room remained silent after Victoria turned off the camera. Daniel looked nervous for the first time that day. "Why are you making this such a big deal?" he asked. It was only a few words. Victoria looked at him calmly. "Words show what people truly believe," she replied. Emma stayed quiet. She had spent years trying to keep peace in her family. She had convinced herself that if she stayed patient, things would eventually change. But watching the birthday recording made her realize something. She was not being respected. She was only being tolerated. After the guests left, Daniel's mother continued blaming Emma. "Your mother thinks she can control this family," she said angrily. But Victoria did not argue. She simply picked up her bag and left with Emma and Liam for the night. The next morning, something unexpected happened. Victoria opened an old box that she had kept for years. Inside were documents, messages, and records that Emma had completely forgotten about. "Your husband needs to remember one thing," Victoria said. "A person should never disrespect a hand that helped him rise." Emma looked confused. She had never told anyone about the money she used years ago to help Daniel start his business. She had never told anyone about the sacrifices she made when Daniel was struggling. But Victoria knew everything. She had kept every record because she wanted her daughter to have proof if she ever needed it. Meanwhile, Daniel was at home with his mother. At first, they laughed and believed Emma would return like always. But then Daniel received an email. His face suddenly changed. The message was from a lawyer. It mentioned old agreements, financial support, and promises he had forgotten. Daniel's mother looked at him. "What is wrong?" Daniel slowly lowered the phone. Emma's family knows everything. For the first time, they both realized they had underestimated the woman they tried to break. Daniel sat quietly at the kitchen table, staring at the documents in front of him. For years, he believed Emma was weak because she stayed silent. He thought her kindness meant she could be controlled. But now he was discovering the truth. Emma had not been weak. She had been patient. The documents showed everything. They showed the money Emma used to help Daniel during the hardest years of his career. They showed the support she gave when his own family refused to help him. Daniel's mother read through the papers with anger. "This cannot be true," she said. "Emma is trying to destroy us." But Daniel knew better. The truth was impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, Victoria shared only one thing with the family: the birthday video. She did not add any extra words. She did not insult anyone. She simply allowed people to see what happened. When relatives watched a recording, their opinions changed quickly. They saw Emma standing alone while everyone stayed silent. They saw Daniel choosing his mother's side. They saw a mother being humiliated on the day she worked so hard to make special for her son. Messages started arriving on Daniel's phone. Some family members were disappointed. Some asked why he allowed such disrespect. Some stopped supporting his mother completely. For the first time, Daniel felt what Emma had felt, the pain of being ignored. That evening, Daniel went to Emma's mother's house. He expected Emma to forgive him like always. But when the door opened, he saw something different. Emma was standing there calmly. No tears, no anger, just quiet confidence. "Emma, we need to talk," Daniel said. She looked at him and replied, "We talked many times. You just never listened." Daniel lowered his eyes. Then Victoria walked into the room holding another folder. "There's one more thing you both need to know," she said. Daniel looked confused. "What is inside that folder?" Victoria placed it on the table. "The truth about why this family was never really yours to control." Daniel looked at the folder sitting on the table. For a few seconds, nobody spoke. He slowly opened it and began reading the papers inside. With every page, his confidence disappeared. The documents revealed something he never expected. Years ago, when Daniel had lost his job and had no money, Emma was the person who saved him. She used her own savings to pay their bills. She supported him when he wanted to start his business. But Daniel had forgotten all of it. He allowed his mother to make Emma feel worthless, even though Emma was the reason he had the life he enjoyed. Victoria looked at him calmly. "My daughter never told people what she did for you," she said, "because she loved you. She did not help you to get praise." Daniel looked at Emma. For the first time, he saw the pain he had caused. "I didn't know," he whispered. Emma shook her head. "That was the problem, Daniel. You never tried to know." His mother became angry. "This is all because of her mother. She is turning you against us." But nobody believed her anymore. Even Daniel could see the truth. The woman who always acted like the victim was the person who had created the damage. Later that evening, Daniel watched the birthday video again. He saw his son's face when Emma was being insulted. He saw the disappointment in his child's eyes. That moment hurt him more than anything. He realized his son was learning a terrible lesson from him. That love meant staying silent when someone was being hurt. Daniel went back to Emma and lowered his voice. "I was wrong. I should have protected you." Emma looked at him quietly. An apology cannot erase years of disrespect. Daniel had no answer. Then Emma placed a document on the table. His eyes widened. "What is this?" Emma looked at him and said, "The decision I should have made a long time ago." Daniel stared at the document in his hands. For the first time, he understood that Emma was not trying to punish him. She was protecting herself. The papers were not filled with anger or revenge. They were simply a clear decision from a woman who had spent too many years putting everyone else first. Emma had decided that she would no longer accept disrespect just to keep a family together. Daniel looked at her with regret. "Is there nothing I can do?" he asked. Emma stayed calm. "There was something you could have done," she said. "You could have stood beside me when I needed you." The room became silent. Those words hurt Daniel because they were true. He remembered every moment when Emma needed support, and he chose his mother's approval instead. Victoria placed a hand on Emma's shoulder. She was proud of her daughter, not because Emma fought back, but because Emma finally learned her own value. Daniel's mother tried one last time to blame Emma. "You are breaking this family." Emma looked at her and quietly replied, "No, the disrespect broke this family. I am only accepting the truth." Nobody had anything to say. Months passed. Emma focused on her son and created a peaceful life for him. Liam grew happier because he no longer saw his mother being treated badly. Daniel slowly understood that losing someone's trust was much harder than losing anything else. He apologized many times, but Emma knew forgiveness and trust were not the same. She chose to move forward. At the next birthday celebration, Liam looked at his mother and smiled. "Mom, this is the best birthday ever." Emma smiled back. She finally understood something important. A person does not become valuable because others recognize their worth. They become powerful when they recognize it themselves. The people who try to make Emma feel small finally learn the truth. Respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned.